Hello everyone, it's Jennifer, and thank you for joining me today. So I had all my projects lined up and was going to record for all of my sponsored subscriptions, and woke up today to some news about Wendy Whitman, and that changed the lineup for my projects for today. My first designer, and I've mentioned this before, the first designer I ever found was Kellie from Kellie's Bead Boutique, Kellie Sutton. And soon after finding her and figuring out that, hey, I might be able to do this jewelry stuff. I might be able to do it. I don't know what I Googled, but I got Wendy. Wendy was my second designer I ever found on YouTube. And with that, she introduced me and many others. She has over 20,000 followers or subscribers, and introduced me to Bargain Bead Box. And Bargain Bead Box was the very first subscription I ever had, and that was because of Wendy. I wanted to learn from her, and the way to learn from her was to try and get some of the same pieces that she had, and this was how I did it, was Bargain Bead Box. I can't thank Lauren and the Bargain Bead Box team for putting together such an amazing bead box every month. And I don't always share. I mean, I can put on, I can count on one hand how many videos I've done for Bargain Bead Box. And one of those was a live with Wendy. And I'm so grateful that I got to meet her through a Jesse James Beads live that we did last year, and had amazing phone conversations, and those phone conversations lasted for hours. We talked for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and she's just an amazing person, and I'm glad I got to do a couple lives with her. And then I was able to join her on her channel as well. So I just find it fitting that I am going to go ahead and just skim through some of the Bargain Bead Box. It is August 30th, and it's the end of the month. I'm sure everybody's already seen the Bargain Bead Box already, but I'm going to go ahead and just start skimming through it. And in honor of Wendy, I am going to use Coreana chain. So that's what I'm going to do. I can't tell you the last time I used Coreana chain or beading chain. And so I decided that I would honor her by using Bargain Bead Box and also using Coreana chain. I had no idea what in the world Coreana chain was when she first started talking about it. And I actually reached out to Kellie Sutton. She's like, oh, that's beading chain. So it's just another word for beading chain. And I thought, oh, okay. And so I have some of those there. I also have some crimp beads, and then yes, I have some clamshells, and so I'm busting out the clamshells too. And the reason why I have 4 is I might do a multi-strand, and so I thought I would do the same. I have enough here to probably make a couple of strands, so I'll make a long strand and a shorter strand, and then maybe do some wire work in between for a 3rd strand. So I do want to mention Bargain Bead Box. If you're a regular on my channel, you're likely a regular on Wendy's channel too. However, though, if you've never seen Bargain Bead Box, this is a monthly subscription. There's different levels of subscription. As far as I pay every 3 months, and so then the monthly cost goes down quite a bit. And it's already an amazing bargain. It is incredible value, and you get quality. I mean, these beads are quality. The metal components, quality. Everything that they have is quality. Oh my goodness. Everything they have is quality. That's my color right there. That's my color and my finish. But if you're new to jewelry, this is a great way to start up jewelry. And this is what I did. I bought kits from Kellie and learned from Kellie exactly what to do, because I had her kits and I followed exactly everything that she did. Then when I decided that I wanted to design and do a little bit, I found Wendy. And I chose Bargain Bead Box because there were so many resources out there. You had Wendy Whitman doing videos, Sarah Lovecraft doing videos using Bargain Bead Box, Thunder Horse Descendant doing videos using the Bargain Bead Box. So there was a lot of resources out there to where it wasn't a kit, it's a subscription, but I felt like it was a kit because I could watch Wendy and go, okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Okay, and I would do it. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so we're back and I came up with 2 necklaces. I have one of the drusies along with a couple of the rondelles, and I don't know if I'm going to need them because what I did was I wire wrapped. Let's see, what did I use for these? I used the 6mm Autumn Jasper round beads and the 6x4 crystal faceted rondelles in that opaque peach shimmer. And what I did was I took some 22 gauge of German style wire and wire wrapped. Then what I did was I linked them all together using these are actually Beadalon 6mm jump rings. But when I just had these links, I didn't think I was going to have a long enough necklace, and I didn't want to add anything to the back. So, because I thought of adding some chain, and then I remembered we had these little leaves, and I thought that would be really cute to add the leaves in between. So then what I did was I grabbed some 20 gauge German style wire and then did my, ugly little simple loops. So I did that. So we did 5. I did 5 of these beaded components along with 4 of the leaves. And the leaves are, here they are. It's these here, the 7mm leaf spacer beads. You have 20 of them, so you have quite a few. So what I'm going to do now is I've already finished one side. So this is going to be one side. And I had planned on having this be in the middle, but I don't know if I'm going to need it. So we're going to just push that off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to do my simple loop first. So let's go ahead and do my simple loop. And again, I pull from my spools. So I usually have a very long length of wire that I work from. So I'm basically kind of working from the spool. I keep this kinked over just so that if I can add additional beads. So I'm going to go ahead and thread that on and then go ahead and start doing my simple loop. And I'm going to go ahead and just round that out and make that all nice and centered so we have it. And of course it's not straight. Okay, so now we have a straight. So now what I need to do, I should get it a little bit closer. There we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this side, but I need to, let's see, I need to go ahead and bend this over. So I'm gonna bend 90-degree angle and then come in and trim it. Okay, then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, make sure none is sticking out the other side, and then just start rolling and make sure that that finishes off. Tuck that in there, make sure they're facing the same direction. For what I'm doing, I'm facing the same direction. And then I need... Okay, so when I was in the middle of filming, my daughter was FaceTime calling me, and so I don't know where it left off, and so I'm just gonna pick up where I think I left off maybe and go from there. But what I did was I did a simple loop for one of the little leaf charms. And so now I'm going to go ahead and add it to, this here, to this, the rest of this chain. Add it, and then we'll close it up. And then we'll do a wire wrap loop. We'll wire wrap this, connect it, and then we'll see how long it is. So I'm going to go ahead and add one of my little rondelles. Those are so pretty. One of these, I think these are the Jaspers, and they're gorgeous. And another rondelle. And I'm going to go ahead and come down about an inch or so. Give it that 90-degree angle bend. I'm going to come in about a third of the way and go ahead and get that pushed to the back, just like so. I'm going to tell you something. Now, the reason why I did this type of necklace for this little in honor of video is because I always just wire wrapped and connected. So what I would have done is I wouldn't have used the jump ring. I would have just kept on connecting them. And what I learned from Wendy was in one of her videos, and it could have been when we did one of our lives together. We did do a live with using one of the Bargain Bead Boxes, but was about using the jump rings in between helps it flow a little bit better. And I mean, of course she's right, and she is. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get this wrapped around. I did not trim the back of the other side just because I was going to go ahead and just do it all at one time and do this one. And let's go ahead and get this here and get that tucked in. And then on this side, get that tucked in. Of course, just always being very careful. You're working with glass. Now what I want to do is go ahead and connect this last connection. Then I'm going to connect the hardware to the end. So I'm going to connect the lobster clasp and my closed jump ring. And I want my leaves need to be going up and down. So both sides are going to go up and down. And I'm going to go ahead and connect these. And the reason why is I want to see how long it is without adding that center component. So let's go ahead and open up. This is just a little 5mm jump ring. And I have my closed jump ring attached to my lobster clasp. And I do that because, for one thing, so I know that it's the closed one. And also, too, it gives me a chance to test the lobster clasp. Always test your lobster clasps before you go. Now, again, the reason why I chose Bargain Bead Box is because that's how I came to know Wendy, was through Bargain Bead Box. Bargain Bead Box was my first subscription, and so that's why I chose it. Now let's see here. Let me see how long this is. This is actually perfect, I think. This is pretty perfect. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's see here. What can we do? Well, we can actually go ahead and we can use that. We're going to do that. Let's just change it up. Yeah, so this was the first one, and I think this might have been, I don't know if it was my first live. or not, but I know we had a good time with our lives. And you know, the fun part of the lives are it's the green room. It's while we're in the green room, and we just have a good time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I have my maybe I will do, trying to think here. I think I'm just gonna do a simple loop and then attach it directly to that. We would laugh because neither one of us are techie, but she completely rocked the whole thing with running the live. It was a lot of fun, and I was looking forward to doing another one with her too. Yeah, so sad. So my thoughts and prayers are with Wendy's family and her boys, her little granddaughter, and poor Chris. There was one night we were, because she's 3 hours ahead of me, right, in time, and so for me it was just afternoon. She's like, well, I think Chris is ready for dinner. He keeps on standing right there. And I'm like, oh no, we're keeping him from dinner. Tell him I'm sorry. And we just had such a good time. All right, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to make sure that these are both straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and just attach them directly onto the chain here, just because I don't want to lengthen it anymore, because I have the star of the show. I have the Coreana chain to do. All right, so there's that. It's facing that way, and this has got to face that way. All right, so here we have, this did take me a while. Well, part of it was because I was designing it too. And so here we go. This one is probably about, let's see exactly how long this is. It's 18 inches. It's 18 inches. So if you want to not have it as long, you can take out some of the links. You can actually, instead of wire wrapping, you can just do simple loops. Or you can always just add more of these and not use the leaves, but I dig the leaves being in there. And then just having that single one down at the bottom. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we have that one. This is all of the scraps I have, so not that much. All right, let's bring in the star of the show. We're gonna bring in the Coreana chain. And what I wanna do is, once I get everything strung on here, then I will determine how long I want this, because I want this to be maybe about an inch or so longer than this. And this is what we're gonna use. We're gonna use all this hair. So we're gonna use this connector, and this is the Unikite connector. Let me grab that. It's this one here, the Unikite and brass faceted round links. So not connector, links. So we're gonna do that. Then what we're gonna do is, I have some of the little 6mm, and I think the way I did it was 3, 3, 3, or 3, 3 on that side, doing two, nope, maybe doing 3. Maybe we did 3. I feel like I only did 2. Oh, I know why. Because I'm using one down here. So we're gonna do a little something right here. That's right, we are going to make a knotted head pin too. All right, because I have some right here. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're going to use, we are going to use 2 jump rings to connect, not that one. We are gonna use 2 jump rings to connect this onto the to the chain. Okay, then I have some of these little bead caps from my stash. They are part of one of these packs, and I got them from either Michael's or Walmart. I think it was Michael's. It was Michael's, and this is John Bead, so I got that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Then we're gonna have right there, and then we're gonna put 2 of the bicones on the, actually 3 of the bicones on the end. Okay, so we're gonna have that and that, and then we're gonna do that and that. I think I have this for down here. Then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. So yes, I have 2, 3, 2, 3. Then what we'll do is when we get to the top, we'll go ahead and attach our clamshells. So we have the clamshells. I had 4 out here because I thought I was gonna possibly be doing a couple of different necklaces, but I decided to do the chain link one first. All right, so let's go ahead and push that off to the side for the time being. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make our knotted head pin for the bottom here, because it's gonna go just like that. And then, yeah, I don't think I think I only need 1, maybe. All right, so let me go ahead and just trim off this part here, because we're gonna have to pass it through, and then I get a good flush cut. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put this at the very tippy tip and just make sure I stay on the round nose pliers and go around here. Okay, and then when I get to the other side, I'm just gonna go straight up, just like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and pass that through. Going to grab that. Oh, I need nylon jaw pliers. And let's just go ahead and get that pulled through. So I pull that through, and then what I like to do is just kind of flatten it a little. I just flatten it while it's in there, and then it kind of makes like a little bit of a platform. All right, so then what I'm going to do is thread on one of these, and then maybe, I was going to put them on both sides, but I'm thinking maybe just on the drug, the bottom of the drug, just like so. All right, and then I'm going to wire wrap directly onto the component there, that link. Okay, so I'm going to give it that 90-degree angle bend, and it's not a thick loop, so we don't need a huge loop. So we're just going to go ahead and make our loop there. Okay, then before we start wire wrapping, we're going to go ahead and just thread that on, just like so. And here's the front, and I want to make sure that that is going to be in the front. So let's go ahead and add our tippy tip here, and then wire wrap. I want to try and go down at least 3 times, but I also want to grab that. I'm probably not on camera, but there's the front and there's the back. And I have a nice long piece here, so that's a good scrap for another project. So not even a scrap, it's pretty much a good working piece. So I'm going to come in and tuck this in, but I'm going to start up here at the front because it didn't get very tight in there. Okay, and there we go. All right, so there is our, let's try and get it a little turned a little bit. I want that to be right there in the front. That's so pretty. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and thread on 2 of the jump rings. I just had to make sure that I was recording. It's been a difficult day. And yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our second jump ring. And here we go. And Joey, if you're watching, be sure to email me so we can chat. Joey, I met Joey through Wendy, and it was during, I think it was during one of our lives. Is that right, Joey? And come to find out, we were talking about where we live. Oh, and so now I'm going to start threading this way, and then I'm going to add this in between and then go. So I'm probably going to talk rather than tell you what I'm doing. But we were talking about where we were from, and so and Wendy knows I'm from California. She says, oh, where in California? Oh, Turlock. She goes, oh, I used to live in Stockton. And I was just like, oh my goodness. It's like 45 minutes away. My brother lives in Stockton. It's like 45 minutes away. And could you imagine if Wendy and I, okay, these all went through earlier. Could you imagine if Wendy and I lived 45 minutes away? We would have so much fun. Okay, I'm just going to use that and just kind of get it a little bit more rounded. And it will work. I made sure they went through. Okay, so I'm threading the bead cap on with the inside going towards my little rondelles. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And so then she says, yeah, I used to live in Stockton. And I thought, oh my goodness, could you imagine? We would have so much fun. We had fun over the phone, even on two opposite sides of the United States here. Oh, I'll put that away. All right, so now I just threaded on my little jaspers. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on bead cap again with the inside facing the little rondelles we're going to put on. So we have our little rondelles. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful box. I love the colors. All right, so now then after I put this bead cap on, and the bead cap again, like I said, is the inside is facing there. I'm gonna go ahead and put these two jump rings. Now, why two jump rings? Well, I kind of dig how it looks. I just kind of dig it. Plus, it just adds a little bit more substance. I don't know, I just like it. All right, so let's go ahead and add our next. Make sure you're going through the middle too. All right, so the inside is going to be facing these guys here. And let's go ahead and put that. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm so sorry that you're sitting here just watching me string, but I just had to do this tonight. And I just thought of doing this. Like I said, I just opened it, and then, let's see, when did I unbox it? When was it? 5:15? And then it's 8, so it's been a few hours. But we ate dinner. We talked with our little granddaughter for quite a while. And just sat down and thought, okay, so what should I do here? All right, let's see. Oh, look at that. That is so pretty. Now we're going to go ahead and add stoppers on there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the stopper now. And I'm not going to crimp down yet because I don't know how long I'm going to have it. So we're going to need 4 of these crimp tubes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 as a stopper. Okay, then the next one I'm going to add is going to I'm going to add the clamshell. So first off, let's make sure I got my pattern right. 3, 2 with the bead caps facing in, 3, 2 bead caps facing in. We got our little guy. Okay, All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the clamshell. I add the bead. I've watched her do this 1,000 times. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to just go and leave a little bit off the top, right? And then crimp down, and then just make sure it doesn't move, and it's not moving. Then we're going to go ahead and bring that down, and then just close it up. Okay. Now this is going to be the side, this is the right side, so this is going to be the front. So this one here, I'm going to go ahead and add my lobster clasp, and I don't need the big one. I don't need the big jump rings. I will just use a couple smaller ones. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead, and these are just little 5 millimeters. And if you didn't close that all up with your fingers, you can use anything. I typically will just use my fingers just because I'm worried about messing up the shell there, and it won't look like a shell when I'm done with it. All right, so there's that side. Okay, so this is the front. Now I'm going to kind of be off camera quite a bit because I need to determine how long I want this. It needs to be longer than this one here. So I'm going to measure it out. And I want it to be about 1 inch longer. Okay. All right. So that goes to be about right there. Let's go ahead and cut that. And I still have enough for another necklace. So now what I want to do is go ahead and I'm going to add the stopper one, because we're going to use that. We're going to use this to crimp. We'll just flat crimp down at the bottom so that the beads don't move around. Then we're going to add our clamshell. Then we're going to go ahead and add our last, and I'm using crimp beads. And if I'm off camera, I am so sorry. So now let's just go ahead and I'm going to go just almost to the end and just trim the end, then just give it a little bit of a tug, because you can crimp down too much. I've done that before, where I've actually crimped down a little too hard and I broke my beading wire. So then I just kind of go ahead and get that closed up. And if it doesn't close up completely right, just kind of like how that one, I just get it and move it around and then close it up. Okay, then that's perfect. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use our other smaller jump ring. Open it up. We have a closed jump ring just right here, so. And then we'll go ahead and add that there. Oops. Okay. And then get this closed up. All right, so now what I want to do is find the middle. So here's the middle. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm just lining up my little claws there, my little clamshells. And I am going just like so. And it looks like that's where it's going to go. And I'm bending it so that there is some movement, right? You don't want to do it straight because then it'll end up being straight. Okay, so there you go there. And then give. Okay, so there we go. There we have it. So pretty. All right, so I'll get this photographed, and just please keep Wendy and her Wendy's family in your thoughts. And this one's for you, Wendy.